Hey guys, it's Chris. How you doing? This video is going to be Signs of the Devil Part 2. This video is going to be on the Fleur De Lis, the Devil's Flower. This is a symbol that's all over the place, guys. Demons hide in this symbol. It's the most underrated symbol that Satan uses, I believe, today. By far the most underrated. Almost nobody knows about it. Almost even less people talk about it. I learned about it right out of the mouth of a demon-possessed person. The person manifested a demon. We couldn't get the demon out for weeks and weeks, and finally I made an angel stab the demon, and I put fire on the demon, and I made it talk, and I asked it why it wouldn't leave, and it told me, and when I say it told me, it took over the person's mouth. The person's eyes turned evil, and the person was talking in demonic tongues, and then I forced the demon to speak English. When the demon started speaking English, I forced it to answer my questions by putting fire on it and torturing it. This girl was down on the ground being completely tortured. She was seizing up. The demon in her was being burnt by the fire I was praying down on her. And I commanded the demon to tell me what it was doing, why it was staying, and it lied to me like 3 times, and then I kept torturing it, and finally it told me because there's a Fleur De Lis in her house. And I didn't even know what a Fleur De Lis was. At that point I didn't ask the demon what it was, because the demon told me, when I said Fleur De Lis, the demon said, yeah, it's a symbol. So after that, I didn't say, demon, what does that symbol mean? What is that? I went home and I researched it. Sure enough, the second I researched it, it came up as the devil's flower. After that, I started noticing this thing everywhere. I would be walking down the street because when I researched it, I saw what it was and I saw the symbol of it. Then, once you learn about these things, like after this video, you're going to see this symbol 10 times a day. If you're out in the world and you hang out with people and you're out in society and you haven't pulled yourself out of the world and isolated yourself, you're going to see this symbol 10 times a day if your eyes are open. You're going to see it in architecture. You're going to see it on clothing. You're going to see it on jewelry. You're going to see it in advertisements. You're going to see it on logos. Just like the all-seeing eye one I just did, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and guys, it will keep a demon in your body, this symbol. These symbols are powerful, people. Witches don't use these symbols because they don't work. They use them because they do work. Anyway, let's start looking at what this symbol is so you could get it out of your house if you have a brain. If you want to be ignorant and you want to make believe that I don't know what I'm talking about and this isn't that important and Jesus doesn't care, keep on going ahead and getting demonized and all that stuff. That's fine with me. I want you guys to know, 99 out of 100 people that watch this, that think I'm nuts, that you have demons in you from this stuff, you would not know if you had them in you. I had them in me all my life. I never knew they were in there. The only time you're going to find out is times like this, when you start to smarten up and turn to God and begin to get spiritual power from the other side, instead of just having a hectic life where everything is annoying and you're not at peace. You're a child of the devil. The yoke on you is not the yoke of Christ. It's the yoke of Satan, and that's a burdensome yoke. The yoke of Christ is light. I float around when I walk now. I don't even feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm very light. I'm healthy. I feel good. I'm at peace always. This is what you're missing out on by having all these symbols and the sin in your life. It's more the sin, but the symbols are major. The symbols could keep you from deliverance without a doubt. I don't do these videos for my health. I do them because I've seen people get free from removing this garbage from their life. Anyway, let's start taking a look at this stuff. Here's a basic devil's flower. You can see this one's red. They come in a few different colors. But you see it's got the 3 pointing up and the 3 pointing down. It's got horns that look like Baphomet horns. Some say this represents the spring equinox. I really don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But the important thing is that the devil chose this flower and made a symbol out of it. That's all that really matters. And that he's named it after himself. And when they make a symbol out of something and they can put demons into it, and that's the goal. Here's a movie. You could see this is called The Devil's Flower. You could see the little emblem of the devil's flower down at the bottom. Again, a weird name for a movie. Obviously there's something to this. Hollywood doesn't do anything unless there's a purpose. Again, they try and draw all your attention right to that glowing symbol. It's almost, your eyes get pulled right toward it because it's so bright. And that's where the power is in the witchcraft. Here's a My Little Pony. This My Little Pony's name was Fleur De Lis when I found it on the computer. You could see there they used the symbols in the number 3. There's always 3 of them. And you could see that they put 3 of them on her back hip. If you look at the unicorn's got a cone-like shape. That's a witchcraft shape. That's a symbol. They used it in the Tower of Babel. They tried to, at least. They use it in the Christmas tree. They use it in the obelisk. And they used it at the Olympic ceremony with silver spirals around it. And you could see the pony has spirals on it, on the horn. That's because the power gets conjured up and it gets pulled upward like that when the demons are called up. You could see this is a little better picture. You could see the 3 Fleur De Lis symbols right on the hip of this pony. This is what your kids are watching, and they're definitely getting spiritual darkness from it. And if they're under the age of accountability, you're getting the spiritual darkness from it, and you're teaching them the wrong ways. Here's another cartoon with the person that has these symbols on her outfit. There's not much to say about this. This doesn't belong on cartoons. This doesn't belong before a child's eyes. When this symbol, the reason they took this flower and turned this flower into a symbol is so they can get you to get demonized from this symbol. That's really nothing. I mean, it looks like the flower, but they've created an image out of it. They've created an idol out of it. And anyone who buys into it or doesn't see it coming is going to be yielding to it. Here's another cartoon with this symbolism on it. Not really much more to say about this, guys. This doesn't belong on cartoons. It doesn't belong before your children's eyes. Here's Mary, or what the Roman Catholics call Mary. This is really the mother goddess of hell, the Antichrist. This is Semiramis. It's a Babylonian queen. You could see the Fleur De Lis behind her. They go up and down. That's just always a symbol of the devil. And I find it funny I was able to find this picture after all I've said about the Roman Catholics and worshipping Mary. But you can watch my video on the Roman Catholic Church if you want to know more about that. Here's a family crest. It's very common for these wealthy Europeans and these Illuminati families to put the devil's flower on their crest. They do it to show respect for him. They do it to show where their family's allegiance lies. And, you know, it's everywhere, guys. This symbol is everywhere, and it's not a mistake. I believe the Maserati symbol somewhat looks like this symbol, too. But it wasn't close enough for me to add it into this video. Gonna get into some jewelry here. You could see that this ring has the devil's flower on it. If you guys are wearing this jewelry and you're over the age of accountability, you can guarantee that you're getting spiritual darkness from that jewelry, and a demon presence is around you all day when you wear this jewelry. You're giving them a legal right to enter you and to have control over your body. You also see the spirals on that ring. That's a witchcraft symbol also. I'm going to do another video on that further down the road. That one's not as common, so I'm not too worried about it. Here's a few earrings. You could see they come in that same color scarlet that they talk about in the book of Revelation. You know, there's a lot of ladies out there that are wearing these earrings that have no idea why they're wearing them, and they have no idea that they're a symbol of the devil, and they might take them off if they knew. There's nowhere in the Bible that says to wear earrings in the first place. Here's an advertisement on a magazine where this girl's chewing on that symbol. As you could see, she's got the necklace and the earrings matching. But what I found unique about this is they actually darkened this girl's tooth out, her bottom fang tooth. They darkened it. You could see that it's not a gap there. You can't see the tongue, but they actually made the tooth darker to make it look like a fang. And this is the kind of subtleties that you don't start to notice until you really start looking at this stuff. Here's the New Orleans Saints helmet. I find it funny that they named this team the Saints, yet it's got the devil's flower right on the helmet. That's their logo. New Orleans is a witchcraft stronghold. It's very common that people that were slaves in other countries that came there on the slave ships, that they never left there. And there's a lot of Haitian voodoo there. There's a lot of witchcraft going on over there. And they're very heavy into Satanism and witchcraft. Guys, here's a good way to curse every dollar you put into this clip. You get a money clip with a devil's flower on it, and you entrust the devil with all your money. That's definitely what you're doing if you have this clip with this symbol on it. What I don't understand is, isn't anyone the least bit concerned of where this symbol comes from? And it's everywhere? This symbol's almost in as much places as the evil eye symbolism. I really have to admit, that's why I chose to do this video as part 2. Because no one even talks about this symbol anywhere in the Christian community. Okay, here's I guess it's a wine cork with the Fleur De Lis on it. Not really much to say about this, but you could definitely get a demon if you drink something that's corked with this cork, because they hide in these symbols. There's no two ways about it. When you purchase this symbol and when you accept it into your home, you've accepted the symbol of the devil into your house. Here's a lighter with the same image on it. Not much really to say more about this lighter. All I could say is it's not of Christ. Okay, here's the Adidas symbol. This is a Fleur De Lis. It's just that they made it a little sleeker so you wouldn't notice what they were doing. If you're wearing these shoes and you're a Christian, I wouldn't really worry about it, but I wouldn't buy them again, that's for sure. But I wouldn't get rid of them. I would just hold on to them until I needed new shoes, and I wouldn't buy from this company anymore. If you're not a Christian, I'd get rid of them right away, because you have no protection against this kind of stuff. And there's a reason that they make all these symbols like this, and it's not because you don't get demons from it. Okay guys, here's the Corvette emblem. You can see the Fleur De Lis with the 3 stripes under it. You see the black and white checkered flag. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that they use that kind of floor in a Freemasonry temple. That's where these things come from, guys. They didn't just make this stuff up. This stuff all comes from a cultic background. Also, that V that's under the 2 flags, that's also occultic. You're going to see that in a lot of stuff. And you could see the flags are in an X also. A lot of symbolism in the Corvette emblem. Okay, we're getting into some clothes here. These are women's jeans. You could see them on the back on both pockets. This is very common on jeans. I've been seeing them all over the place. Again, you should see the warning. I'm starting to put warnings on these videos with the symbols and with the girls' bodies and stuff. If you haven't gotten a hold of lust yet, you better not be staring at this girl's behind on my video. Because like I always say, I'm not here to be part of your backslide or whatever people call it. I don't call it a backslide, but I'm not here to be a part of that. This one is the same deal. You got a guy's t-shirt. They use these graphic tees to hide the images. There's many satanic images in these graphic tees that they send all these other stores. This is a popular thing over here in New Jersey with these guys who they call Guidos over here, wear these shirts with all these graphics on it. You could see there's an eagle on this, which is really a symbol of a phoenix in my opinion. But the eagle's occultic just the same. But really guys, you have no idea what you're wearing on these t-shirts, so I don't know why you're wearing them. Same principle on this t-shirt. You could see the angel wings. Very odd that all of a sudden you have angel wings. Lucifer's a fallen angel. Then you got the devil's flower. God only knows what demon faces and what other symbolism they're hiding in all that jumbo babble on the t-shirt there. And you could say to yourself that, well, I don't know what that means. God won't blame me. But God says in the Bible that my people are lost out of ignorance, and He will blame you for ignorance. Because ignorance comes from the devil, not God. Same thing with this one. Same thing. You could see it up by her chest over there. And then you could see, you know, like it looks like an arrows at the bottom pointing down to her private parts. All this stuff is planned out. When you learn to look at this stuff, you're going to notice these things. Because these shirts direct attention to the sexual parts of a female. If you look at her side, you could see the other Fleur De Lis is right on the top of her hip. Right where that curve is. They want to draw your eye where you're going to look. You're going to look at her curvy parts, and what you're going to see is a satanic symbol. Here's a nice little innocent shirt that you would put on your daughter. And most of you parents, if you put this shirt on your daughter, you have no idea what you're doing. You're doing it out of ignorance. Your child might be under the age of accountability. They might be getting away with it while they have no control over their own decisions. But once they hit a certain age and they start, you know, following your example that you're putting these satanic symbols on them, they will be held accountable for it. And the age of accountability is the age that they're old enough to start sinning willfully. I mean, it comes real quick. Look at these. Look at this one. This lady's carrying her baby around in the symbol of the devil. Again, that baby is under the age of accountability without a doubt, but the mother isn't, and I don't know. It's going to be on her head while that baby's under accountability, but once that baby's a grown-up and it sees all these pictures that its mother put it, the baby's mother put it in these satanic symbols, all of a sudden the baby's just going to develop a liking to these symbols, and it's not even going to know why it likes these symbols. It's just going to think they're part of normal life. He uses mind control, he uses sorcery and all this garbage to perform this magic and to play with people's minds. You could see he's wearing crosses, obviously the Fleur De Lis on the vest. He's got what looks like Santeria beads on. Anybody that wears a lot of beads like this, that's voodoo, that's witchcraft, that's Santeria, Palo Mayombe. It's all different kinds of African and Haitian voodoo. It's no good. These people are cutting chickens and killing chickens and giving them to demons. Here's Jennifer Love Hewitt. I'm just going to do a few celebrities that are endorsing this symbol, that are endorsing jewelry with this symbol on it. Jennifer Love Hewitt, without a doubt, has a spirit of seduction. And anybody that lusts over her, you are going to get a demon. It doesn't mean every time you do it, you'll get a demon. But the first time she gets you, she got you. Satan allows his demons to go in at his will. And God will allow it if it's your will for it to happen. Here's Paris Hilton. Same thing. I see more of a spirit of lust on her, but you know, you can't always tell. I know for a fact Jennifer Love Hewitt has spirit of seduction. I know that for a fact because I get that from the Holy Spirit. But this girl, Paris Hilton, she just destroyed a whole generation, especially of prissy young white girls in wealthier areas and middle-class areas who want to be an idiot just like her. Satan used her really good, guys. And now she's endorsing this Fleur De Lis, and you could see the crown around it. Anytime you see a crown, that's a symbol of satanic pride. Here's Madonna. You could see the guitar strap has 2 skulls on it and a Fleur De Lis. You could see they're dressed in black and white. That's occultic. And you could see that it's right in the middle of her chest, that symbol. So when you look at her chest, any guys that are going to be looking at her, you know, flashy parts are going to see that symbol center stage. That's not by mistake. And of course, the skull is also a symbol of Satan and demons. And it comes from the group Skull and Bones. And you don't want to be wearing skulls either. She figured that the skull and the Fleur De Lis wasn't vulgar enough and wasn't antichrist enough, so she decided to give 2 middle fingers to top it all off. And you could see the veins popping out of her arms, and whatever drugs she's taking to keep skinny, whether it's growth hormone or whatever, is not setting a good example for the kids either. But parents, as long as you let your kids watch it, you will burn in hell without a doubt. Satan makes sure that in these tattoo parlors that all his symbolism is on the templates. So when you go in and one of his satanic symbols catches your eye and you're not of Christ, there's a demon in you urging you to get that symbol. That demon wants you to have. It's going to put it in your mind that that's the one you like and that's the one you're going to get. I'm fully willing to admit I have a dragon on my rib cage. When I found Christ, I wanted to take it off with a belt sander, but it's okay. Once you repent for it, it's washed clean with the blood of Jesus. And you don't have to ever worry that Jesus is going to judge you for it. But you do have to accept Jesus for that to be washed clean. Until then, you will be demonized for that tattoo. Okay, here's another one on the back. I'm sure this girl didn't even know what this was, just liked this symbol because she probably, you know, had sex with a guy out of wedlock, got a demon, and then that demon pushed her into the tattoo parlor. Then she got another demon with the tattoo, and that's how it works. Satan just piles them in. This girl's probably innocent from the looks of it. This Fleur De Lis symbol is all over the place in architecture. They've found many different ways to make it look. Sometimes it looks more feathery, sometimes it's straightforward like this one. Sometimes you could barely see it. It's always different. But obviously right here, when you walk into someone's house, the first thing you see is the devil's flower. And I guarantee you 99 out of 100 people have no idea that that signifies the devil's flower. Here it is on towels. You could see here all the different ways they portray it. So you could see different varieties. Each one of these 4 is a different variety. And then if you look under it on these stripes, there's like these flowery type things. I wouldn't worry too much about those. Just pray over it. I believe it signifies a Fleur De Lis. But if you have a towel and it doesn't have this emblem on it, as long as you don't see this 3 up and the 3 down, just pray over it and say, God, I don't believe this is of the devil, but let me know. and speak to my heart and tell me. Here's some wallpaper. You could see here, this is very faint. You almost would never look at that as a Fleur De Lis, so faint, and because it's so feathery, but it is. This is definitely meant to be a Fleur De Lis, and it's no good. You don't want it in your house. There's not really much more to say about it. If it's on your wallpaper, I would remove it or cover it. At least cover it. Show God that you don't want this stuff in your house, and you'll be rewarded. Here's a Fleur De Lis lamp. You could see the whole base is a Fleur De Lis. Again, if you have this in your house, I know that 99 out of 100 of you have it in your house out of ignorance. Now that you've watched this video, it's not out of ignorance, and you need to get it out of your house. And trust me, even before when it was out of ignorance, you were experiencing spiritual issues from having these symbols in the house. Like I said before, Satan doesn't do this for any reason but to get demons in your house. And he needs to use a witchcraft symbol to do it. It's a must. He has to use a symbol to get the demon into your house. Guys, don't buy furniture that's flashy and gaudy like this. All this stuff is in pride. All this stuff is of the devil. This is what people who want to weigh themselves down with material possessions do. They buy chairs like this. I'm not going to say I didn't do it. I did do these things before I knew Christ. But now I want nothing to do with these things. Here's a Fleur De Lis. I guess they used this to hold the curtains. But you could see how the tip there is like the Adidas emblem. It's just the top half of the Fleur De Lis. But this is definitely plainly a symbol of a Fleur De Lis and nothing else. Don't make excuses and be like, oh, maybe that is, maybe it isn't. If it's got 3 prongs on it and the 2 are pointing down like Baphomet horns and the 1 is pointing up in the middle, you got to get it out. It's a Fleur De Lis without a doubt. Because all the other spin-offs of this emblem hold demons just the same. Just like this one. They made this one look like a fern leaf. But that's not the shape of a fern tree. The fern tree does not come in the form of a 3-leaf. So even if they feather it or make it look like Indian feathers or whatever they do, you got to get rid of it. Usually when you see it as the main focal piece, you could look down and you'll see it on the legs too. I believe it's on the legs of this chair too, but it's hard to see. So don't take any chances no matter what. Just get it out. If you can't afford a new chair right now, don't worry about it. Just pray over it and get it out as soon as you can. This is on the fences, guys. This is very common. You could see that the thing is going up, and then the 3 down is the 1 going off to the side, the other going off to the side, and then the 1 piece going straight down. So you have 3 up and 3 down. Symbolizes a Fleur De Lis. So if you have this on your fence, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you could pray over it and God will let you keep it, but ask Him about it. At least it's not in your house, but it's on your property. And your property is your area, and when you bring this stuff onto your property, this is why there's all different contracts, people. These are columns. You could see the top. Those are Fleur De Lis columns. The top is all feathered. The top has the flowers keeling over. This is extravagance. This is of pride. You'll see these columns in the Roman Catholic churches where they do their witchcraft. You'll see these columns in the Freemasonry temples. The Bible says do not put up columns. Do not do it. Same thing here. Look at all these columns. Now, I'm not saying you can't put a column up to hold something up, but it should just be a plain, round column, and it should not be a focal point. It should just be a support structure. Anybody who lives in a mansion that has columns like this will go to hell. I don't care who they are. You can't be a true Christian today and live in a mansion. and have extravagant things like cars and all these things. Because if you had the heart of Jesus Christ, you wouldn't be hoarding away money for yourself while so many people are suffering today at the hands of the devil. Same thing with this. Guys, a lot of these sites are ancient blood ritual sites, ancient witchcraft sites. That's why these columns are up there. Because back in the day when they conjured up these evil spirits and invoked them in the public, see, now they don't do it in the public. Now they do it behind closed doors in mansions and in witches' covens. But back in the day, they used to all come out here and do a pagan ceremony, do a Babylonian, Egyptian ceremony, whatever you want to call it, and they used to conjure up demons. Okay, this next one here, this is the devil's flower mantis. I saw a picture of this. I never even knew about this until I was going to make this video. But as you could see, it looks like a devil's flower, and it makes that position. Not only that, but anyone who's been around New Age long enough realizes that a lot of these people who are claiming that they're being abducted by these aliens and pulled into another world, which we know it's demons, but a lot of these people are claiming that when they're in these caves that these demons bring them to, and when they're in these spaceships that these demons bring them to, that they're seeing a mantis-like alien. And I believe that mantis, the reason that they name this the devil's flower mantis is because there are demons that look like this mantis, and there's things in the satanic kingdom that this mantis represents. I've never seen any, but I've read maybe 20 accounts of people who saw a mantis in the spirit realm. They don't call it the spirit realm. They just think that they were abducted by an alien and they're in a UFO, and the atmosphere is different in the UFO. But what it is it's a demon pulling him into the spirit realm, and a demon taking the form of a UFO, and then other littler demons inside the UFO. The demons could completely manipulate the spirit realm. Look at this thing. This is one of the biggest mantises there is. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's supposedly vicious. And you could see those horns on top. That's why I chose this picture. They look exactly like the horns of Baphomet. You see the face? It looks like a goat head with the horns coming out of the top. And I think that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you all the places that you see this devil's flower symbolism and the name of the devil's flower. Okay, guys. I hope you got a lot out of this video. I don't need to talk about this symbol much more. This symbol was chosen by Satan, and anything with his name on it could house his soldiers, and anything that houses his soldiers could demonize you. And just get rid of this stuff. I'm not going to keep doing these all in a row. I'm going to start mixing these Signs of the Devil videos in with my videos on Jesus and my videos exposing Satan's plans and teaching you about demons. So you're just going to get a mix of all different stuff. Because I don't want to just talk about the devil. I want to do sermons too and read out of the Bible. Because that's what we all want. We only have to do this until Christ comes back, so don't worry about it. Anyway, be blessed, everybody. In Jesus' name, I pray that God shows you where these emblems are and all these satanic images, and you get them out of your house, okay?